Kadosh, Boker Or, Masechet, Bava Kamma Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. We were just speaking about that. We said that a paraduma, which remember that after the shchita, it's still going to be mitamet tumat ochlin, right? Why? Even though, right, he says over here, therefore it's going to be a surbana. He says, which means that at the beginning there was a heter. And therefore, since there was a time that there was going to be a heter to eat the meat, so therefore, since it was shata kosher is like shah, which is kasher. Right, shata kosher is also, it's the good time for it. So shata kosher means that it was a time that was going to be fine. So Ein Zayin Mubet, right, 77b. The Amar Resh Lakish says Resh Lakish, Omer ya Rabbi Shimon, you say para nivdet al gabe marachata. Do you know the paraduma could be redeemed, right? Which means that even after the shchita kalacha, it could still be redeemed. Which means that if they found another paraduma, which is even nicer, they're going to redeem the first one and they're going to do the second one as a paraduma, not the first one. Almas, you see from here, anything which is going to be redeemed is like it's going to be redeemed. Okay? So Bishma Rabbi Yochanan lo amar Rabbi Shimon Lakish. I understand Rabbi Yochanan does not hold like Resh Lakish. The kabayle ukme le matnitin afil betmimin. Because he wanted to say that the matnitin is talking about even with a tmimin, which means a regular animal. But according to Resh Lakish and Kol Sheken Balmun, and therefore Rabbi Yochanan is modet to Rabbi Shimon, right? That what? That if you're going to come and you're going to do shchuteh balmun b'chutz, that it's going to be okay. But he says that Resh Lakish, why doesn't he hold like Rabbi Yochanan? That we're talking about that you're doing shchita on tmimim, right, on the inside. So Malachai, he says, Utvacho mecharo, kol hecha dita b'mechira ite b'tvicha, v'kol hecha deleta b'mechira leta b'tvicha. He comes and he says like this. He says, when it says Utvacho o mecharo, selam emshos. It has to be the exact same malachot, which means whenever there's going to be tvicha, there's going to be the mechira, there's not going to be the mechira, and then there's going to be the tvicha. So he says, Hani kodshim, if you come and you took kodshim and you sell it, it's not considered a mechira, right? But it still stays kodshim, so litzneu betvicha, so there's no tvicha either. Meaning this, imagine you have something which is kodshim, and somebody comes and they sell it. Is it considered a good sale? No, it's still kodshim. You have to redeem it. You cannot sell it. If you sell it, it's still kodshim. So therefore, just like there's no sale, there's no tvicha as well. There's no slaughtering as well. Meaning it has to apply both halachot. It cannot be that there's not both halachot. When they go according to the reasoning, the It was stated, if somebody is going to sell a trefa, according to Shitat Rabbi Shimon, right? The Divrei Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yochanan says he's going to be chayav. The Shaki says he's going to be patur. Rabbi Yochanan says you're going to be chayav. Because even though you cannot slaughter it, you could still sell it. But the Shaki says you're going to be patur because since you can't slaughter it, you can't sell it. Meaning here is the exact opposite. It's a how do you call this? It's trefa. Can you slaughter a trefa? Nothing helps with trefa. Trefa is going to die, so you don't get in it. You can't eat it. Trefa, you're not allowed to eat. So then that's what he's saying. If you hold that you have to be able to do both, here you cannot do the slaughtering, but you could do the selling. So if you hold that you need both, so therefore, since I can't slaughter, I can't sell. Just like I can't sell, I can't slaughter. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, no, you could. And the other case was the exact opposite. By kodshim, you could slaughter it, but you can't sell it. Because if you sold kodshim, it's not a good sale. It's still kodshim. So if it's just like you can't sell it, you can't slaughter it, right? You understand? Meaning, are we applying both halachot together? That selling and slaughtering have to be the same? Or can I split them? That even though I can't do one, it doesn't matter. So one of the cases is, for example, trefa. Trefa, I cannot slaughter, but I could sell. And the other case is hekdesh. Hekdesh, I cannot sell, but I could slaughter. Capish? That's what we're saying. So, Eitvei Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Shimon Lakish, asked Rabbi Yochanan to Rabbi Shimon Lakish, Ganav kilayim utvacha. If somebody came and he stole kilayim, and then he did tvicha, or trefa, umcharan, and he sold it. Mishalem tashlumei al Bava Kamma. You have to pay al Bava Kamma. My love, are we not talking about that it's shitat Rabbi Shimoni? Almas, you see from here, even though you can't slaughter it, you could still sell it. So Amarle, he comes and he says no. It's shitat Rabbanan. So says the Gemara, Rabbanan, if it's going to be Rabbanan, trefa b'mechira ita b'zvicha leta. He says what? Trefa is only going to be by mechira, but not by zvicha. Meaning trefa is only by selling. You cannot slaughter it. You cannot do anything with it. Yeah, you can't even bring it as a korban. Nothing. Velamai, but rather, according to Rabbi Shimon, kilayim betvicha ita b'mechira leta. In kilayim, you're allowed to slaughter it. You're not allowed to sell it. Elatana hu adin tvicha hu adin mechida. But rather it's tvicha, which is the same halacha to mechida. Same Rabbananami. So when we say the same halacha applies to Rabbanan. The Tana mechida hu adin tvicha. So we learned mechida, which is the same halacha to tvicha. Rabbi Yochanan Amalekha. So Rabbi Yochanan is going to tell you, hi, my, what are we talking about? If you're going to tell me now, Rabbi Shimon, I did Tana Terefa Bechada. Now that you taught Terefa in one, Tana Kilayim Bechada. So we taught Kilayim in one. Rabbanan, but if you're going to tell me Rabbanan, Narvinu v'nitninu, why don't you just mix everything up together? Ganav, Kilayim utrefa, utvachan u'macharan. If you stole Kilayim, and right, and a Terefa, and you slaughtered it and sold it, you have to pay Bava Kamma. So Kasha, this is a question they meant on Shitat Resh Lakish. Right? Why? Because he comes and he says, 1 second, what's going on over here? Here you have a case, right? That it's still, why don't you just put everything together? Kilayim and Trefa. Tvachar mecharam. Why don't you do that? So obviously it's not like Resh Lakish. So this is actually going to be a good question against Resh Lakish. Okay? So it's a good question against Resh Lakish. Kilayim. Says the Gemara, Kilayim, why are you going to be chayav on the Tvicha mechilav Kilayim? Seketiv. It says in the Pasuk Se. Rabbi says, Zebanav, it's a binyanav. Kol makom shneimar se, eno ela lotzi et kilayim. Whenever it says se, comes to exclude kilayim. Vechol o lerabotu. And anytime that it says o, it's coming to include. When you say shor o se, and whenever it says o, or comes to include. V'atanya shor o chesev o es, prat lekilayim. O es, prat lenidbeh. So what are you talking about? It's coming to actually exclude, not to include. So Rava says, it all depends on the pasuk. Sometimes it comes to include and sometimes it comes to exclude. It says so therefore there's no mitzvah to come and make a kilayim from a shor and a seh. So the word o is lerabot kilayim. It's coming to include kilayim, right? But by kodshim, where it's written kesev ve'es, that you can have a kilayim between them. So the word o is coming to be lema'etu. It's coming to come and to exclude it. And therefore, that's why it's going to exclude. So therefore, it's going to be a completely different halacha.